You're listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast, celebrating hunting dog heritage, competition, and community. United Kennel Club has been the hunting dog sports home for coonhounds, beagles, retrievers, pointers, cur, feist, and more for over 125 years.
Welcome back to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast. I'll be hosting today. I'm Trevor Wade, the Coonhound Program Manager here at UKC, and I'm joined by the Director of Hunting Ops, Alan Gingrich. How's it going, Alan?
Good. It's not snowing today.
Yeah, it's kind of gotten hot here.
I know. I just got back in from lunch, and I think it's close to 80. It's got to be pushing 80. It's a beautiful day out there, though.
Yeah, beautiful. Been starting to finally do some spring chores, mowing and clearing brush and all that good stuff, and it kind of feels good to get out there and get some sunlight on you.
Yeah. Wasn't it just last week's episode when we were talking about where it snowed a little bit, I think?
Yeah, well, it snowed last Monday.
Yeah.
Before we headed down to the Black and Tan days.
Yes.
That's kind of what we'll be talking about today a little bit. While I was down there at Black and Tan days, I had a chance to conduct an interview with their association. And right from the beginning, the inception of this, that was one of our big ideas, or one of our biggest points that we wanted to do, was to talk to associations, to affiliated associations about some of the things they have going on, some of their ideas, and kind of instruct the people out there who may not know otherwise about their association and what they can do for them and vice versa.
Yeah, and it's kind of worked out, really. We're kind of taking this platform to them when we're at their events, so it's a good time just to sit down and talk with somebody. So it works good.
Yeah. We talked about it last time. We've kind of made it through the busy month of April, and part of our spring schedule that brought forth, national championship and world championships in different programs. And for the Coonhounds, it doesn't mean that it's not busy anymore. Still have quite a few breed days to go to this summer before we eventually get to the fall, where we get to Autumn Oaks and World Championship, and you get to some of your World Championships in Beagles and other programs. But today, we're kind of here at the midway point a little bit through the travel season, and before we get into the hunting season, and thought it might be good to just look at what's ahead.
Yeah, it's midway for a lot of programs, but for one of them, the Youth Spotlight Series, it's actually the end of the calendar year, or not the calendar year, but the end of the series year for them, and the new series kicks off June 1st. So, yeah, and we talked about that a little bit, I think.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the Spotlight Series and the Junior Handler Enrollment Forum on the last podcast that we did about Coonhounds. So you'll be to go back and listen to that. But you're right, we did do it. We're still in the transition of making it to all electronic, which we talked a lot about. And May 31st, that's the end of the series. After that, sometimes it takes a week or two to get in the final reports from clubs that may have held events on that weekend. But then, as soon as we can, we're going to finalize those results, and they'll be announced across our social media platforms, on our website, to get it out there to let you know which youngsters brought home the Spotlight Series crowns this year. Yeah,
and you crown all those at the Youth Nationals, which happens in July, which is kind of why we made the season on those dates, from June 1st to May 31st. So, and it works great, and that's a great platform at Youth Nationals to recognize those winners of that series.
Yeah, barring a pandemic or anything of the sort, then we're able to finalize everything and get jackets ordered and actually hand them out there at Youth Nationals.
Yeah,
they usually don't need them there at the end of July, no matter where we are, but they're still nice to get it to them and to give it to them in front of their peers, which I really like that recognition in front of your peers. While we're talking about the Spotlight Series, we did, while we're making the change to electronic, we've kind of made one little tweak to it that I thought we should announce on here, as well as we'll put it in writing in different places. And that's, we kind of changed the way that the aging works a little bit.
And that's starting for next year, right? For this next season.
Starting June 1st, right? And it's still going to be the same age categories. So the junior division is still going to be 5 to 12, and the senior division is still going to be 13 to 17. But now your age only matters on the very first day of that series. So what age you are on June 1st will be what division you're competing in for the duration of the series.
So that means if I'm 12 on June 1st, I'm going to be competing in the junior series for that whole series.
Even if you turn 13 in July, you're still competing in the junior division because you were 12 when the year started.
Yeah.
And this is honestly the best thing that it does for us on our end of it is the programming is already set for your Beagle programs, and that's the way that they do it over there.
It is.
And it's just a lot simpler for the programming aspect of it, right?
Yep. And you're going to compete in the age class in the junior senior division based on, and really the only one that it applies to is for the junior division. If you're 12 when you start, that's the category you're going to finish in for the year, even if you turn 13.
Yeah. I guess we should mention 17-year-olds just in case. So if you're 17 at the beginning of the competition year, the day you turn 18, you're no longer eligible to compete in youth events. But any points that you accrued while you were 17 will still count towards your Spotlight Series point total.
Sure.
And you can still have a chance to maybe bring home a Spotlight Series award.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, those junior handler enrollment forms, we've kind of put that everywhere now, in magazines, websites. We're going to put it on social media. Really need to get those in by June 1st. Really, we need to get as much information on the kids competing as we can. That way we can apply points correctly.
Yep.
And you mentioned a little bit Youth Nationals. Youth Nationals is kind of our next national Coonhound event, what we would consider, one that we actually administer. And that's coming up here in the not too distant future, end of July. It's going to be July 21st and 22nd this year at the North Central Kentucky Coonhunters Clubhouse there in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. That's a place you've been before.
I've been there. We've had World Zones there before. We've had our World Championship finals there. It's kind of hilly there, but they do a very good job. They're putting casts in the woods, and I think it'll be a good place for it. They have I assume you're going to have it at the same fairgrounds that we had before out there, and if so, they have a couple of very nice buildings, a nice pavilion building that is kind of open-sided that works great for the show. We've had the World Show there, so it'll be a nice place.
Yeah, so and I've been working hand in hand with their officers, and it's always nice whenever they're super excited. You know, we didn't have to talk them into doing this. They wanted something. We wanted something in the middle. You know, we've been as far west as Oklahoma, as far east as West Virginia in the past couple of years. We were in Ohio last year. Want to go a little bit further south, so I think Kentucky's just smack dab in the middle of everything.
Yeah, it is.
And it's going to be a reasonable driving. I mean, no, of course people have drives, but it'll be reasonable for everybody.
Right, on some main byways, there's plenty of, folks are going to be able to camp there on the grounds. But there's also plenty of hotels in town there too. That's not an issue at all.
Right.
You know?
And we're going to talk a lot more about Youth Nationals in a future episode. Probably kind of give them a whole segment there. But right now we're just kind of highlighting what we have on our docket in the Coonhound program. But yeah, if you're planning on going to Youth Nationals, there's 2 license events that weekend on Friday and Saturday night for the youth. There's a non-licensed bench show there on Saturday with a seminar beforehand that the Judge Kayla Cooper will be doing. So make plans to be down there in E-Town in July. It's going to be a good time for all the youth.
And most of those that have been to the Youth Nationals are familiar with the show, and you mentioned it being non-licensed. And the reason for that, just really quick, that it's non-licensed because the classes are set up differently than a licensed show would be, and it's based on the kid's age, the handler's age, and that becomes the class. They can enter whatever dog, doesn't matter the breed, the age, the sex. None of that. The titles the dog has, all that doesn't matter. It's going to be, in other words, if you have an 8-year-old handler, he's going to be in the 8-year-old class.
That's right.
With whatever dogs those kids are handling there. And then the same with the 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds. And sometimes it even happens where in the upper division, in the senior division, a senior might handle a dog that a junior already handled in the junior division, and that's fine.
Right.
Just doesn't work very well for them to handle the same dog in a couple different age classes outside of the junior and the senior division, but they can certainly do that.
Right. And it's a show based solely on showmanship. Kind of the way the dog looks isn't considered the way the kids shows and the information
that's a lot of it, and they judge the dogs a little bit, but half of it is emphasis is put on the kids' handling abilities and how they represent their dogs to the judges. But I always thought it was really cool because they start with the younger class, like the 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and watching that progression as the kids get older. That's pretty cool to see.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that event ad's been out there. It's been floated around. It's been in our May and June issues at Coonhound Bloodlines. Yeah. And right now it's already on our website. If you go to ukcdogs.com, look under the Youth Nationals tab, you'll be able to find that ad for everybody to see for any more information you need.
Yeah, and generally they have a couple other activities going on outside of the hunts and the shows. You probably mentioned they're looking at having some water races, possibly.
Well, yeah, they said they have access to water there, so I'm not sure if some water races, maybe some dash race type stuff with dogs, but then also some stuff away for they'll have cornhole, volleyball, badminton. They're going to have some fish. They have there's fish in the pond, so kids will be able to fish during the downtime. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff to do to keep the kids busy all day long.
Good. Youth Nationals is always a great time.
Oh yeah, I like it. I'm looking forward to it already.
Yeah.
The next one after that is not going to be long after that. It's Autumn Oaks.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Already gearing up for Autumn Oaks.
Can you believe that? We're talking about Autumn Oaks already.
It sneaks. What sneaks up on you is editing the ad for the magazine, which we just got done doing because that's going to be in the June issue.
And so the deadline for the June issue is May 1st. So that's we've already looked at a lot of that stuff. Yeah,
it really, really sneaks up on you, and you're thinking, man, oh man, we just had this thing, but it's out there now. I just checked online. It's if you go to ukcdogs.com under the Autumn Oaks tab, our ad is on there. It's going to be in the June issue. It's going to be in Bloodlines for the next few months. You guys know how that works. And this week, Autumn Oaks is going to get kicked off on August 29th. It's going to start out on that Tuesday night with our warm-up slams, and then into Thursdays whenever the actual National Duel Championship confirmation show stuff starts there on the grounds. So August 29th through September 3rd, that's Sunday morning, whenever we finish everything up, at some point on Sunday morning, awarding a national Grand champion.
So basically the same lineups we've had here in the last 4, 5, 6 years. So
yeah, it's going to be there right on Labor Day weekend in Richmond, Indiana at the Wayne County Fairgrounds. So same old stuff. You guys probably have that bookmarked already on your schedule, got vacation time put in. So we're all looking forward to that. I will let you guys know online entries are going to open for Autumn Oaks July 1st. July 1st, and they're going to run through August 11th. So you got about a month and a half there to get entered up. That's when online entries open. And with the ad being out there, you can go find it right now. You can see all the hunt deadlines. You can see times. You can see, what the schedule of events are. All the bench show details are on there. We even have the judges and their assignments for the weekend are already on the ad. So go check that stuff out. And along with that, you can also find all the lodging recommendations from our national events team, information about the dog barn and how that works. And the last thing is vendor information. Yeah. It's time for vendors to go ahead and get signed up and get out there. I think we're going to have a big crowd this year.
Golf carts is another thing. This week I put a sticky on our Coonhound forums for information for golf carts. Folks want to rent one of those. Should get that done ASAP while they have them available for you.
Yeah, you don't want to be walking around that big fairgrounds all weekend, do you?
Yeah. Nice to have those golf carts.
And then right now, I've steady so far has been the RQEs. It's been nice. We've seen a pretty decent increase in entries over our regional qualifying events this year, which makes sense with it coming the finals being back in Mount Gilead, Ohio this year. So that makes a lot of sense. But we're halfway through the qualifying season right now.
That's where you were just this last weekend, matter of fact, and for Black and Tan Days. But they do a good job out there, don't they?
Oh yeah, and they're ready. They've been talking about everything they have in place. They've pretty much got they're molding their 27 guides for Thursday night on who's going to be able to get the cast in the most secure, safe places to score coons. So
yeah, and they are. I actually got a couple texts from the club members this past weekend. And that had a couple questions for me about the World Hunt coming up. So yeah, they're looking ahead and making plans already. So that's good.
Yeah,
just tells you how organized they are and how on top of things they want to be.
Yeah. And like Autumn Oaks, the online entry for the World Championship is going to open July 1st. The last day to enter, as always, is going to be the Saturday while we're at Autumn Oaks. That'll be the last day to get signed up. That's September 2nd this year. We've given away receipts for winners at our RQEs for hunt and show winners. We're also mailing them out with your certificates after the event's over, so you can feel free to mail them in. Is that my recommendation? Probably not. I'd probably wait till online entries are open. Just because the mail can be tricky sometimes, but you do have that. We do have a lot of those flowing in right now, a lot of mailed in entries, but July 1st is the day whenever online entries go open for the World Championship as well.
Yeah, so that means if you got a dog qualified, you'll be able to enter it online, and only those dogs that are qualified are going to be able to even enter. In other words, if I try to enter a dog that is not qualified, it's probably not going to work for me.
Yeah, just because you think you're going to get qualified doesn't mean you can go ahead and enter up. So
it doesn't work that way. Put the horse ahead of the cart, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this a little bit already, and we'll talk about it more in depth closer to time, but the zones are going to be September 15th and 16th. We've talked about those 7 locations. I don't think there's any need to go over it. Their ad has been in the Bloodlines again, and you can always find that stuff on our website. If you're having any trouble navigating that, get in touch with us in the hunting ops department. You can call us, you can chat us, you can email us, and we'll get you all set up on where to find these event ads that I'm referring to. And like we said, World Finals is going to be September 21st through 23rd at the Morrow County Fairgrounds in Mount Gilead, Ohio. So it's going to be a good time. Really looking forward to it.
Yep, me too.
Speaking of both of those events, let's transition a little bit into the Triple Crown. We're kind of you know, that's such a big gap between the first leg and the second and third legs. But after the Winter Classic there, which is the first leg of the Triple Crown, we had 26 double cast winners.
Yeah.
So right now we got 26 dogs tied for first place in the Triple Crown race.
Yeah, the time gap. And those were the double cast winners at the Winter Classic that was held in the middle of February. And the second event is Autumn Oaks. So, yeah, that's a little bit of time there. And then the third and final leg is the World Championship, starts 2 weeks after Autumn Oaks. So
yeah,
that the last leg is pretty quickly after that second one.
Yeah. The one thing is, if you got double cast wins at Winter Classic, hopefully you haven't been sitting around. Hopefully you've been working on getting your dog qualified for the World,
right?
Because you're going to have to do that, and you're also going to have to make some plans to get to Autumn Oaks in order to get that $3,000 check and that embroidered jacket for your Triple Crown win.
Yep.
Be sure you're keeping that in mind. If you have double cast wins at Winter Classic, why not? You're already in the driver's seat, so
for sure.
Get out.
26 of them, you said, right?
That's right, 26 of them.
Yeah.
Well, obviously I talked about it. Just got back from Black and Tan days. We're kind of in the middle of our breed championship year so far. We had Tree and Walker days a few weeks ago.
Leopard days
the week after that, and then just had Black and Tan days.
Yep.
We still got. By the time you listen to this, Blue Tick days will be in the bag because that's this next weekend for me. But this the way that the scheduling works. And then after that, we'll have Redbone days, English days, and Plot days. But I figure real quick we'll go through a rundown of who some of our major winners were at our breed championships this year so far, and before we get into our interview from Black and Tan days. So the first one was Tree and Walker days, like we talked about, April 20th through 22nd in Hillsboro, Ohio. Our overall night hunt winner, no stranger right here, Grand Night Champion Stevenson's Willow, owned by Kevin Morehouse in Ohio, Tree and Walker.
Yeah, here in UKC, she probably made that name is very familiar only because of the first TOC. Yeah. She was in the finals of the TOC.
Yeah, $30,000 winner.
Final cast was the runner up there, and so yeah, Stevenson's Willow, Kevin Morehouse. So, and she was the only dog to be at the Triple Crown or at the TOC 3 years running, was it not?
One of two.
One of two, or two of three. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But yeah, nice female. He's done a lot of winning with her, and yeah, overall winner for the Walker days this year.
For the opposite sex was a dog from here in northern Indiana, night champion Mallard Roost Iceman, Tree and Walker, owned by Jeff Cole and Lucas Barkman in Indiana.
Yeah, Jeff Cole's from my home region in northern Indiana, and belongs to the Whitley County Coonhunters there. And Lucas Barkman is a guy that is kind of Jeff's partner there. Does a lot of the hunting and the handling, and Jeff is kind of the truck man, I guess, now. But Lucas is a great handler, has had some great dogs, and I can tell you there's very, very few guys that hunt any harder than Lucas Barkman.
I was going to say, these guys, if you're friends with them on Facebook, they're hunting every night.
Yeah, and there's some great places to hunt in our part of the country here in northern Indiana, but I'm telling you, they put their dogs in some of the roughest stuff they can find sometimes, and I think it pays off for them sometimes.
The overall bench show winner from the weekend here, continuing their hot streak, Grand Champion Skyline and Leeview, Dare the Devil.
Yeah, that's a name we hear quite a bit here recently. And Bridget Clary, Beth Jenkins.
From Virginia there with that Tree and Walker. And then the opposite sex is going to be from West Virginia, Confirmation Champion, Grand Champion 2, Southern All-American Ruger, Tree and Walker, Tiffany and Mark Atkins.
Yeah, good folks down there from West Virginia. We see them at all the major shows and such, and it's good to see them getting some good wins here.
Yeah. The Lee Crawford, that's kind of a big deal for the Tree and Walker Association. They do that on Thursday, kind of a culmination of all their sectional events throughout the year. You got to qualify for it, and then you compete against the best of the best there on Thursday at Tree and Walker days. This year, the overall Lee Crawford bench show winner on Thursday was Grand Champion 2, Confirmation Champion Skyline Stay in Your Lane, a Tree and Walker male owned by Megan O'Connor and Beth Jenkins. Megan O'Connor's in Iowa, Beth in Virginia.
Yeah.
Big win for them. On the hunt side of things, the overall Lee Crawford night hunt winner was night champion Mill Creek Roxy, Mark Meyer from Ohio with that Tree and Walker there. And then the last one that we'll point out from Walker Days, the Pup Extravaganza. That's kind of caught on, kind of became a big deal. And just, if you look at the list of past winners, man, what a list of dogs that have won that Thursday night pup hunt at Walker Days. I know they do a pretty good added purse for that event. This year's winner, night champion Hillbilly the Kid, a Tree and Walker owned by Jack Maggard of Kentucky.
Yep.
I think handled by Eric Pyatt, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Moving on to the next weekend, April 27th through 29th in Holmesville, Ohio. That was the annual American Leopard Days event. They've been there in Holmesville for the past couple years. This year, the overall night hunt winner was the dog named Main Street Fusion. I looked just before I came down. It looks like the dog just got transferred into the new owner's name. This is Zero BS is the dog's name now. It's an English male owned by Zach Kane and Travis Russell up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I was going to say somebody, I think old Fred Moran called me and asked me about this. And it's a boy that lives close to him, I guess, that owns this dog. And he said that he was pretty tickled that he won the overall hunt winner there at Leopard Days with this dog. So yeah, and I knew he was going to send the papers in. So must be that has happened now. So
yeah, I've been seeing this dog's name around a little bit. So it seems like they're traveling.
Yeah, good for him.
So with an English dog winning the overall there, they still had a high-scoring leopard, which was champion McCandless's Swamp Run Nix HTX, a leopard owned by Candace McCandless in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania dogs showed out there in the hunt. The overall bench show winner, here's a one with a bunch of titles that Chuck Slattery and Lucas Slattery down in Tennessee own. Grand Field champion, Water champion, Confirmation champion, Grand Champion 5, Soak Creek Mr. Moose Spot. Big win for Chuck. He's been going all over the country. Well-deserved win there for him. And the opposite sex is one right here from Michigan. Bandy Berlin owns this leopard. Female, Grand Champion, Backroads Wild Rose.
Yeah.
So congratulations to all those winners.
Yep.
Moving on to Black and Tan Days, the one I just came from. Had a blast there. Black and Tan Days, they were in Flora for so long, and they've tried some different things just to take the strain off of Flora a little bit. Not that I still go to Flora twice, so it doesn't seem like they're taking too much of a break. But they've been to Peru. Now they're in Mount Gilead, and I think that everybody enjoyed themselves there, getting to hunt new terrain, see new people. First time it's been in Ohio, I think, and they said 16 or 17 years, and I think it was a big success for them.
They were in Wapakoneta, I'm going to say not that long ago, but just for the 1 year. So, yeah, probably forgot about that year that they were there. But that's not too fast, just off of Interstate 75, Wapakoneta. But, yeah, and it's a big Black and Tan Day is always a big one. One of the bigger breed day hunts you'll go to.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see that many black and tans on Thursday night like that.
It is, yeah. There's so many categories. We had Ben Sheets, Tree Talking Media, there taking our win photos for us on this weekend. And I told him beforehand, you'll see more black and tans than you've ever seen in your life, there, especially on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I don't think he took me serious, but he believed me by the time it was over with. There's a lot of black and tans there. Yeah. But
kind of like Redbone Days, they all look the same.
That's true. Did I already take your picture once or twice? I'm not sure. The big winners of the weekend there at Black and Tan Days. King of Hunt was no stranger here, Mr. Jeff Nelson. Grand Night champion Nelson's Northern Cast Jr. Jeff's there out of Illinois.
He was also the first guy to win the UKC World Championship with a black dog.
First one to make one a Grand Night Champion Hall of Fame. Is just a guy who's always competing with his black and tans. You talk about some of these breeds, and they talk about how a lot of them don't travel to some of the bigger events like the World Championship and some of the higher dollar entry fee events. He's always going to be there. He thinks he's got one capable of winning it all.
And he usually does.
He absolutely does.
He's had some great dogs, great hounds over the years.
Queen of Hunt was night champion Midnight Smoking Penny. There's a black and tan female owned by Donald McKeon in Tennessee, down there in South Tennessee, right on the Alabama border.
Yeah, well, Donald is somebody I guess I'm not familiar with. He'd be from your part of the country down there, but yeah, congratulations, Mr. McKeon.
Had to talk him into staying on Saturday. He won his cast at the RQE on Thursday and was talking about leaving after the hunt on Friday, and after he won with a pretty decent score. I think he had 4 1/4 on Friday. He's like, can't leave now.
Yeah,
gotta stay now. Paid off staying, Donald.
Yeah.
I'm not taking credit, but I kind of am.
Yeah, I see here with King of the Show. I'll let you have at that one again. All those titles.
I
struggle with that whenever this dog comes up at a show that I'm announcing or something. But they're all our UKC's own titles, and you and I are not that familiar with all of these. But yeah,
kind of got on to David and Misty a little bit about all these titles. Come on, you have to teach me what these things are. But a lot of them are obedience and agility titles. This dog does a little bit of everything, and what we're talking about is David Gilman and Misty Yarrington's black and tan male they call Hank. His titles Racing, IA, PN, UAGI, which is an agility title, Grand Champion 2, URO2, Confirmation Grand Champion, Gilman's Good Time Tradition Spot, or Hank, as I like to call it.
Yeah. Just Hank is much easier.
Much easier, yeah. And the queen of show, I was tickled to see this. A 17-year-old lady from down there in Missouri, Chloe Gibson, a dog that she co-owns with Misty Yarrington, won queen of show with champion PR C&M's Outlaw Della Rose.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Chloe.
Yeah, I would assume that those two dogs, the king and queen, are probably somewhat related. I would assume.
I think
Maybe
they share
not.
a little bit of lineage.
Yeah.
The Champions Classic, like we talked about for Walker Days and the Lee Crawford, the Champions Classic that they do at Black Atendas has kind of became a big deal for
happens on Wednesday night, does it not?
The hunt happens on Wednesday, the show happens on Thursday, and it's basically a culmination of sectional winners through the year and also the top placing Black Atans in major events through the year. So your high scoring Black Atans from Autumn Oaks will be there, your Winter Classic, the highest one in TOC will be there. So honestly, you have to do something impressive throughout the year to be invited to this thing.
Yeah.
And
they still just take the 16,
just
16
the 16.
dogs? Yeah.
Right. So they'll take the 6 and they fill the rest of them in with the sectional winners is what they do.
Yeah.
And this year, the Champions Classic hunt winner, they treated a bunch of coons on Wednesday night. I was keeping up with the play-by-plays they were doing on our forums. Chris Knighty was doing, and sure enjoyed that. Good job by them putting it out there. And the Champions Classic winner this year was Grand Night Champion 3, Kentucky River Nitro.
Yeah.
Black Atan male owned by Jimmy Reese and Aaron Gray. Jimmy's in Tennessee. Aaron Flop, of course, he's in Kentucky.
Right. And Hard Hunters are behind that dog right there, so no surprise, really. They hunt their dogs hard. They've always got one in contention, and a winner, and here's Kentucky River Nitro. Good for them. Congratulations.
The winner of the Champions Classic bench show, dog that's actually the king of hunt at Black and Tan Days last year, champion Flat Timber Hardwood Moose, Black and Tan male owned by Bobby and Trenton Livingston of Ohio. So congratulations to them. I wanted to include in here Morgan McClurg of Westby, Wisconsin. First time I've ever seen this young lady. She came and she kind of cleaned up. They were giving away a bunch of good awards. The Black Atan Association always gives away a bunch of good stuff to the youth. They have good events that weekend. One thing they do is a scholarship hunt and show that they do, where the winners of those scholarship hunt and show can get money for their education. And she was the $1,000 scholarship winner in the hunt and the $1,000 scholarship winner in the show.
Well, good for her. Congratulations, Morgan. Nice job.
She was the only winner in the hunt that got the scholarship, but on the show side, Jocelyn Renfro of Russellville, Arkansas, also was able to get a $500 scholarship for her opposite sex win in the show.
Yeah.
And that kind of concludes the big winners from the weekend. Like I talked about, I was able to sit down and carve out about 30 minutes out of one of the busiest guys of the weekend, Mr. Kenneth LaRoux from down there in
Louisiana.
Converse, Louisiana. I got him to sit down with me and talk a little bit about the association.
Great guy to talk to. And I look forward to this interview with him for sure, but does a lot for the association. He's just such a positive guy too.
He is.
He does. Yep.
He's a good talker, and we had a chance to talk about what they have going on, what's new, talk about some of the new officers coming in, and one spoiler alert in here is he's about to announce where Black and Tan Days is going to be in 2024. So I hope you guys enjoy this interview with Kenneth LaRoux. Alan, we both had Dr. Pathfinder 2s now for a little while. What do you think about yours?
I'm liking mine. One of the things I had the opportunity to now download a map of an area where I did not have service, and I've used it there, and it has worked flawlessly. I love it.
Yeah, I love the crystal clear maps. I love that I never lose reception on my dog's collars anymore. Highly recommended by me as well. Dogtra Pathfinder 2, the official GPS collar partner of UKC. Hey everybody, this is Trevor. I'm sitting here on Friday in the Morrow County Fairgrounds at Black and Tan Days, and got a special guest today, Mr. Kenneth LaRoux with the Black and Tan Association. How you doing, Kenneth?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. It's great to be here also. Weather's beautiful. Got plenty of black hounds out here. Looks great.
Yeah. So you're the president of the association, or the outgoing president of the association now, I guess, right?
That's correct. I've been the president of the association for a couple of years. We rotate out presidents every couple of years. Chris Knighty is now the new president of Black and Tan Association. We feel like by doing that, we bring new blood into the system. No matter where you're at, we can get stale. Yeah. We can get tunnel vision. Yeah. So every couple of years, the president changes and board members change every 3 years.
I like how you guys do that. We talked about that a little bit earlier. You're always kind of reinvigorating the board with new ideas and kind of different mindsets and philosophies and trying different things. And it's worked out for your association. I think that's pretty clear to see. So I like how you guys set that up.
Yes, we it's taken a lot of people to do something. It takes a lot of people that's focused and dedicated to this association, and we feel like we got some of the best members in the country. They work hard. They don't mind change. They accept change, and change is one of the harder things in the world to accept. A lot of people fight change, but so far we've been really, really good about our changes that we make. We're well thought out. We test the waters first, and we've made changes from people that a lot of pencil and paper type stuff. Now we're electronic. You can go online. You can do anything you want to. Membership. You can get ads to the yearbook. Those are the things that we've changed. Initially they were just old pencil and paper stuff.
Right. Way simpler now. And, we fight that same stuff as well. We're trying to make stuff a lot more efficient for people. We have their best interests in heart and in mind. But sometimes, like you say, some people can be a little reluctant for that. But yeah, so it sounded like today you guys just finished up your meeting. So I thought it'd be a good time to talk to you and bring you in. But first, let's talk a little bit about, let's talk a little bit about you. Can you tell us a bit about you, where you're from, family, how you got involved in these black dogs?
That's pretty easy to do. I'm from Louisiana. I call born and bred down there. We're not like swamp people. We don't have alligators eating us up all the time. We do have a lot of reptiles. Yeah. But my dad ordered a black and tan back in the 50s from Tennessee. Supposed to have been a fine coon dog. Well, I don't know if he ever treated a coon. But he got us to hunting black and tan dogs.
So that's how it all started.
So that's how it kind of got started, with a dog from Tennessee. And he came in on a train, and I think he cost $25.
Wow.
So from then on, I've been hunting. I've hunted other dogs. Obviously, I'm not blind. There's some really good dogs out there. And I joined the Black and Tan Association, and I've been a board member, including my president term, but probably almost 9 years.
Yeah.
So we kind of know the ins and outs of the association. But anyway, stayed in Louisiana, went to Tennessee. I did do about 20 years in the state of Tennessee. Work will take you a lot of places.
Sure.
But we enjoyed it. We really enjoyed Tennessee. But Louisiana kind of pulled me back. And it's my home. My mother's there. All my grandkids, everybody's in Louisiana. Yeah, we got a lot of coons. They're just little runny coons. They're not very big like we got up north. But that's kind of how I got into the black and tan business. And again, just enjoyed the people with the black and tans.
Yeah, absolutely. Same. Always so enjoyable to be here on this weekend. So you mentioned you started out on the board. It's kind of a prerequisite to being an officer of the association. Is that right?
That's correct. We get nominated for the board. We do typically 3-year terms. Every 3 years, we replace 3 more members on the board. There's 9 board members. There's 5 executive members, and then we can appoint anybody we need to other committees. But yes, that's how we kind of get on. I got on as a board member, and kind of, I don't say work your way up. I'm more like getting familiar with the process, getting familiar with the people getting familiar with you, and then you work your way up to president.
Yeah, you kind of took over during kind of a critical time in the association just because of the timing, right? If I remember correctly, you Chad Smith would have been going out, and you would have been coming on as president. You were vice president. You moved to your role as president. Was that in 2020?
Right. We kind of come in with the COVID era.
That's right. Yeah.
And all the COVID things that happened. We almost didn't get a yearbook out one year because of COVID and no paper. Our paper was on the boats out in the freaking Pacific somewhere. But we made it.
Yeah.
We made it. When you say challenges, it just finds out how good you are, how good the association is. You don't wilt over on challenges. You stand up and take them. So that's what we've been able to do. Not just me. I've had tremendous support.
Yeah. And so you did your terms, and you're outgoing today. But let's talk a little bit about the Blackattan Association as a whole. Maybe how do you become a member of the association, and what's some of the perks of being a member of the association?
Good. The association, you can become a member of the association a lot of ways. Right down here, we're taking memberships.
I see your wife here. She's just about 20 feet from us, and she's got 3 people at the table joining right now.
Right. My wife happens to be the membership chairman, so she's pretty busy too. She's in the association. She's been with me through all of this, so she understands the people, the dogs. They know her. Yeah, but we can go online to abtcha.com, and you can scroll down through there. You can pay memberships. You can search to see if you're a member, if you expired. You can also buy ads in our yearbook. You can do anything you want to, pretty much. Sectional hunts, schedule them, look at the schedules of next coming hunts through that web page. That web page, again, that's some of the changes that we made because of people not being able to get around and see stuff. So we developed, and really didn't develop it, I guess. We just tuned it a little bit.
You're right.
To make it better. But you can join electronically, or you can come down at one of the hunts. You can join in the sectionals.
You guys are always at Winter Classic in Autumn Oaks.
We're always at Winter Classic. We're always down at Grand American.
Grand American.
We're always, the major hunts, the 3 big hunts that UKC puts on, we're there. Yeah. We got membership people there to take your membership. Membership is $30 for a year. You can buy 3 years and 5 years. You can pay 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years. It's a little bit of discount for the 5 year. You get a great yearbook if you become a member.
Don't undersell the yearbook now. That thing is top notch.
Well, we do a few things really nice. One of them is make a really good yearbook. Our membership wants a good yearbook, and that's something we have to do. We like to put on a really good hunt, and the membership likes a good hunt. So, we work for the membership. The membership doesn't work for us.
Right.
So what their needs are is what we address.
Yeah. So you guys have a year, like you said, the yearbook. It's a hardback. Always have a ton of ads. One of the best yearbooks, just as far as participation by the membership, and everybody wants to get their ads in that yearbook and be a part of it. So right. I think that says a lot about the association and the membership as a whole.
Well, the yearbook ads, we get vendors to give us ads, and if you're a vendor and you give us an ad, we're going to give you a yearbook, because we believe you ought to see where your ad's at.
Very nice.
If you put an ad in the paper, you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to send you a free yearbook. So anybody that wants to join or help us with ads, you're going to get a yearbook out of that deal. And we believe, I know I'm prejudiced, but we believe we put out one of the best yearbooks, one of the few hardcover yearbooks that's out there. Yeah. Great photo. If you're a world champion, show dog this year, her dog was on the cover of the yearbook.
Yeah. Miss Madison Fancher's right there on the front with her.
That's right. She's on the front. If you win World Championship coon dog, we call a RIF fund. We're going to write you a check for $10,000. So through the association, plus what UKC gives you. Yeah. So we won't, we feel like we have some good dogs out there. We don't have as many dogs as some of the other breeds do, but we believe it's quality over quantity.
Yeah. So
there's where we at with that little piece of action.
Yeah. And you talked a little bit about the hunt and just anybody who goes to the breed. I get to go to all the Chartered Breed Days events, and you can always count on the first full weekend in May being at Blackattan Days. And even before I became employed by UKC, I did go to Blackattan Days multiple times. I used to hunt black dogs pretty regularly, and it's always a spectacle here. It's crazy how many black dogs and the people that enjoy them and share the same interest can come together and just have a great weekend.
Well, we hunted 110 black dogs last night.
That's a Thursday night all black hunt.
All black hunt. No other breed could enter. UKC's graciously let us have an RQE in it. But it's all black. We do champion of champions. If you're a show champion and a night champion, a minimum night champion, you can hunt in a champion hunt. You can hunt in a puppy hunt. You can hunt in an all-black hunt, we call. We got a senior hunt on Wednesday night. Nothing but seniors can hunt in that. We got a top 16 that we hunt Wednesday night.
I do want to talk about that a little bit.
Top 16 dogs, they come out of the sectionals.
Yeah.
We got some automatic qualifiers. Like
the top performing dogs at Autumn Oaks in the world, is that right?
That's right. That's the top. We got some automatic
Winter
qualifiers.
Classic.
And then the rest of them come out of the sectionals.
Yeah.
So we encourage people to go to the sectionals, hunt the sectionals, and then they come out. And it seems to be a big deal. We do a play-by-play on it, just like UKC does on their bigger hunts.
Yeah.
It's gaining traction. We're seeing people like it more because it is some of the best black dogs that we got.
Yeah.
Get to hunt it off.
Well, yeah, you mentioned you feel like you got the black and tan breed has some guys who can compete at the highest level. Wednesday night's just an indication of that. If you look at the cast breakdown and read those names and what they've achieved, if you were to go through, their history of wins, and not just the hounds, but the handlers behind them, and then look at the scorecards and how many coons they scored on Wednesday night. Man, what a night that was.
Right. We again, we feel good about our dogs. We don't win all the hunts. Nobody else does either. But we feel confident that the handlers, along with the dogs, this is our philosophy, sort of with the black and tan people, is that it's really about the guy holding the leash as much as it is about the dog. The common denominator here is these black dogs for us, but the guy that's holding that leash is an important part of it. We want sportsmanship. We want guys that's quality people holding that leash, and we've got that. We hunted at the Winter Classic. I think we had 13% of the dogs that entered the Winter Classic were black and tans. When the dust settled, we had first place, second place, third place, fifth place, and eighth place in the top 10 were black dogs.
Yeah.
And had good scores.
Yeah, they had a real good
over
week.
1,000 points for the winner and 900 and something for second place. So, again, we think proves a point that we are as competitive as everybody else. We just don't have the quantity of the hunts. When you see us, we don't have that quantity, but what we got there is quality.
Yeah. One thing about it, you mentioned that when I come to this hunt, I see a lot of faces that I only see one time a year. I may not see them at the World Championship. I may not see them in Autumn Oaks even. But they always make it a point to take off that first weekend, and that just speaks to kind of the family environment that the Black and Tan Association has, I think.
That's correct. We really push family stuff here. We got youth hunts going on right now. We give scholarships. We got the Horizon Award. Our kids is competing against each other for scholarships. And we want not just good hunters. We want educated, smart hunters. And we encourage them to go to school. And they don't have to go to college. But that scholarship is good for trade schools or anything they want to do with that money as far as an education.
Right.
And, we just gave a little girl from, I think she was from Minnesota, Michigan.
I think it's Wisconsin or Minnesota.
Wisconsin. It was Wisconsin. You're right. And she was as proud as a new pup. I'm telling you, she was grinning.
Got a standing ovation.
Oh, standing ovation. She'll get a lot of pats on the back, and people will pay attention to her. She's a great kid.
And that's one thing about your association, and you hear it everywhere you go, is what you guys do for the youth. And I got to give a special shout out to Philip Herron, and now giving the reins over to Josh Renfro and what they've done. And they're just, every time I go to a youth nationals event, they're always represented. There's always a representative there. Whenever you hear about a state championship, they've always got a high score in black and tan or Queen of Show or something. They send trophies to them all, and you guys just do a good job of promoting it for the sport and promoting to the youth of the sport and giving them something, an incentive for entering their black and tan.
That's we started this, but all the youth, every state championship, we send trophies, male and female, and we want those kids to have something. We want them to walk off from there with something. And unfortunately, most places don't give anything anymore, any trophies or anything. We we've got trophies here lined up with Trevor and I. We got almost $3,500 worth of trophies sitting up here that we're going to be giving to our membership.
We're surrounded by them.
Trophies is all over the place. and, you know, again, we want somebody to walk off from here and have a trophy so they can put up on their mantle wherever they want to put it and say, hey, I won this uncompetition.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just a good thing. It's a good group of people. Like I said, you know, I thank them all for allowing me to be president. We look at it as a privilege. It's not something that they forced on you to be the president of the Black and Tan Association. It's a privilege to be a president or ex-president in this case for the Black and Tan Association.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about the meeting that just happened. One thing that you guys do is you always have a lifetime membership, and today Mr. Mike Crockett from Mississippi was awarded the lifetime membership. And man, it's you know, I go to a lot of breeding meetings, and then they all have their own special awards that they give, and to see grown men and women that have invested so much time and effort into a select breed and advance the breed, and to see to be blunt, just a little emotional and how overwhelmed they are, standing ovation by their peers. That's always a special moment.
Yeah, you know, Mike Crockett's a good friend of mine, and that just shows that the whole association knows Mike Crockett.
Yeah.
Because again, the dogs he's had, he's always here. He's always willing to do anything that's asked of Mike to do. Mike's just a good human being.
Yeah.
And you're right. For the guys and gals that's here, we honor him with that position. It almost brings him to tears. Yeah. To know that the association, we run about 800 plus members, that we recognize Mike as one of the guys that's fostered this association, that's made it who it is, and it takes a lot of them. We've got a list of, in that yearbook we got a whole list of every one of these lifetime members, and they're not all men either.
Right.
Miss Chirpy, she's a lifetime member and a very active person today. So becoming a lifetime member is a great reward.
Yes. And there's a lot of deserving people out there, and one of them you announced today of who your lifetime member is, who's going to be awarded next year, Mr. Ray Conrad of South Carolina.
Right. Ray again, he does all kinds of stuff for the association, the ex-president for the association. He and I and a lot of other guys, we just talk. And, you know, you can get a lot done when you got friends and you feel comfortable enough to sit down and talk with them. And Ray's that kind of guy. You can pull up a chair, you can pull up a stump, you can pull whatever you want to up, and Ray Conrad is going to tell you what he thinks. Now, you better be ready to accept that, and that's great. That's what we want out of people. We don't want people to mush mouth around and, you know, tell us the truth. What do you think? And you know, most of these older guys we got, and as you can tell on our board, when you look down through there, you see a lot of ladies.
Yeah.
And that's for a reason. When I pick these girls, young women, I say girls, they're young women, and because of their intelligence, their dedication to the breed, and their ability to reason, work, look, you know, they're really good people.
Yeah.
And they'll eventually move on up too. But Ray Conrad, Ray exemplifies what we want out of a Black and Tan member.
Yeah, you said something interesting there about Ray. He always has you know, he's going to have an opinion. But and you know, sometimes it may be critical, but he's not one that's just going to complain to you about something. One thing that he always does is he has a thought or maybe multiple thoughts about ways to improve or correct it, and that's what we need more of, is more people that have the ability to critical think and to think about ways to improve it, because that's what's going to advance the sport.
That's correct. You know, we talk about, you know, not just this association, but how we interact with other associations. We're you know, I'm always talking to other presidents and just members about how we, saying all us coon hunters, can pull together and be stronger as a whole group, a big group, than just individual groups. Black and Tan Association, we feel like we do a lot of good stuff, but we open to suggestion from anybody else or any other breed, any other association. You know, you can't close the door, and I think that's another reason that we are successful in our breed, is that we're willing to listen to other people You know, all people have an opinion, and all people have a good opinion. Just it may not be the right opinion or the right direction for that particular time, but it's still a good opinion. You have to listen.
Yeah, that's right. And we've talked a little bit about it already, as how, you know, coon hunters are, you know, hunting. If you're a hunter, period, you're already a small niche of this country. If you're a coon hunter, you're even smaller. And then when you get down to the bare bones and you're talking about just a certain breed and these are the only people you're going to interact with and bounce ideas off of and work with, you're talking about a very small sample size of the people in this country. And we've came to the realization, obviously, and a lot of people have, that there's strength in numbers. And the more that, you know, you've talked about trying to reach out, and you see at Winter Classics, you're going to be at the other breed booths as much as you are your own breed booth, bouncing ideas or listening to maybe what they're doing that's working, what they're doing that hasn't worked. You talked about that being almost more important.
That's right. That's right. I'm a member of several associations. I'm not just a member of the Black Tan Association. I got cards in my pocket for all kinds of associations. And you know, that's for a reason. I want to support these guys. I don't want to just talk about it. I want to support them. And as Trevor was just talking about, he and I talked, it's power in numbers. And you have to take the blinders off sometimes and look at the other guys. Because everybody, every breed, every association is doing something right, or they wouldn't be there.
Right.
So why not figure out what they're doing right and copy some of that and maybe share some of the stuff that we're doing right? Yeah. So, you know, when you mix stuff like that, it becomes a win-win situation for both groups, or 3 groups or 4 groups. So, yeah, in the future, I'm going to continue to reach out to other groups. I'll never stop doing that. I may be the past president, but I can still reach out. And so that's where the Black Tan Association wants to do. We in the coon business, you know, when you talk about your dogs, you don't want to have big ears, but we want to have big ears.
That's right. That's a good way of putting it. I guess probably our last thing to just mention here is I guess the big news of the weekend is you guys have announced where and when Black and Tan Days is next year during the meeting today.
Yes, we'll be in Flora, Illinois. Same time, first full weekend of May. We'll be back in Flora. We've had a long history with Flora.
Back to Charlie Brown Park.
You know, the little train running around. It's you know, it's almost a home for us. Yeah. We've been there a long time. A lot of people know each other in that area, in that community. I know people in that community. Flora, the mayor and everybody, they know us. We try to bring a lot of revenue to a place that we go to. We bring a lot of people. As Trevor said, we got a lot of people out here that only hunt competition on Black and Tan Day.
Right.
And they, you know, they come in and again, we got to post the scores because, buddy, they like to go look at that score. You know, sometimes they might want to look at it with some blinders on, but they do like to look at scores. And that's a thing that we like doing. So, yes, we'll be at Charlie Brown Park in Flora, you know, sort of like going back home. And we'd like to welcome everybody that hears this podcast. Come by, visit with us, see what we're about. We're going to have Friday and Saturday. You're going to be able to hunt any dog you want to. And we would gladly have y'all come with us and enjoy the fellowship. Just shoot the breeze with us. That's all we need.
That's right. Well, I'm already looking forward to it. I already got that date circled for next year. I'm ready to get out there back to Flora and enjoy Black and Tan Days. But we got a whole another couple of days here left. Looking forward to a big hunt tonight and tomorrow night, and crowning some king and queens and overall winners and giving away some of these trophies. So do you have any closing thoughts you want to share with us?
Well, you know, Black and Tan Association, one of the things that we're so proud of is that we're only here because of the grace of God. We just didn't miraculously show up. Wouldn't be for Jesus Christ and Him dying on the cross, I doubt we'd be here. Our people are, we respect that. We respect who we are, how we got here, and how we're going to continue to be here. We always open our ceremonies with a prayer. And that's for a reason, because we do believe that Jesus Christ has allowed us the opportunity to be coon hunters.
Well, Kenneth, I've sure enjoyed getting to know you over the past few years and working closely with you, and I sure appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. I know you got a ton of stuff to do, but took some time to come up here and talk with me for a little bit, and I look forward to continuing our relationship in the future in your new capacity. But I appreciate you sitting down with me.
Thank you for listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast. Be sure to give us a follow so you don't miss any of our new episodes or content.